Oh.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Give me 1 second. I'm just
Hello.
gonna bring you up so everybody in the thing can hear you.
Is this like calling into the radio? Do I have to turn down my monitor?
Yes.
You sound okay at the moment.
You sound awesome
Right.
at the moment.
I'm trying to find the right level to put you in the chat too, so they can hear you.
Yeah, Brave's
Got
been a
it.
bit, actually.
Sorry.
So, how's it going?
It's going. How's it going on you guys' end? I've been watching. That looks good.
Which parts were you watching? Because that could go either way.
Whenever it was like midnight to 2 a.m. here, I was able to see.
Midnight to 2 a.m. That would have been like when I was at Twilight last night. So good time.
Oh, fun.
Did you like it as much as I did?
Well, the review's up on the site.
I know. I've seen it.
Yeah, hope you enjoy that. It's yeah, they're terrible.
It was unfortunate. I've only seen.
Oh, now you've spoiled it
Yeah, I
for
know.
us.
I've only seen 2 and 4, and this was just an order of magnitude worse than 2.
Well, that's because you didn't see 3. You don't get the whole plot.
I guess not. I don't know.
Also, 4 doesn't have face punch.
Yeah, 4.
I'd like to apologize to anyone watching for my terrible webcam.
That's
Oh,
okay.
Fine.
Actually, can we switch over to?
All we're
Bob?
getting is still frames every 2 seconds.
Oh,
3
okay.
Seconds, yeah.
Oh,
Well, it is a terrible webcam.
So, Ian, you had a
I do
question?
indeed
We-
have a question.
We
It's
have
not going to look any better moving around, I promise.
Yeah.
we've had a thread up on the forums for a while here, so we've been taking questions from people, and Ian had one as well. So
Cool.
I got the first one. Very recently, a couple of years ago, I started getting into comics a little bit, and then earlier this year, I started getting back into comics. And the thing I'm wondering is, if I were the situation is, if I were to take you to a comic shop and you were to see a big wall of trades, what trade? And I went, give me a trade that you really, really like in the last 4 or so years, and I said, give me something that is really, really good that I will like a lot. What would you give me?
Oh boy. I'd probably turn around and ask for a little more information of what you might have liked before, that sort of thing, because it's all so niche now. It's all so specific and such.
Okay.
Give him some.
Some specifics.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Sorry, I don't.
I've read.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men run and really liked it. I read Fear Itself and really liked it. I read Civil War and really liked it. I've took a look into 100 Bullets. I have a whole bunch of Ultimate Spider-Man and Runaways, and then a good deal of DC's New 52.
Now, did you read the mini-series 52 that happened before?
No, I have not read 52. That was the prelude or whatever. 52. Yeah, I haven't read 52.
Very much worth it. It's dense continuity, not as much as it seems like it would be, but pretty well put together. I don't know that it is still relevant now that they've rebooted everything, but or rebooted some stuff or whatever. I'm not even sure how most of the New 52 works right now, but I'd say that's a good one to go with. For a good laugh, you might want to try Amazon's Attack. It's just so bad that it's good.
All right, sweet. Thanks a lot.
Is any of this coming through? I can't tell my own sound on this end.
Your sound's great.
Yeah, that
Oh,
sounds
good.
perfect.
Okay.
Sounds really, really good. But yeah.
Excellent.
All right, thanks a lot.
No problem.
All right, so we got some more questions here. Hey, Bob, what remakes, game or movie have you played / seen that were better than the original? Mario does not count.
What doesn't count?
Mario.
Well, that kind of limits things. No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. Fine. John Carpenter's The Thing is a remake that's better than the original. That's sort of one of the classic examples. The way old school. The Maltese Falcon was a remake of another movie and based on a book. Recently, I haven't seen too many that I'd say were better than the original movie-wise because they were sometimes as good, but I haven't really seen anything that I said wow, that was way better than the old one. It changes if you're counting adaptations. Obviously, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings is better than Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings.
Most definitely.
things of that. And oh god, I'm gonna get hit by that because people love rail. Actually,
Furiously
I'm getting in trouble. Video game remakes are a whole other thing because usually they just take the original game and HD up the graphics, so it's like, well, now it looks better, so I guess by definition
It is better.
So I don't know that video game remakes kind of work the same way. I want to play the HD version of Metal Gear when that comes out. I'm sure that'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Somebody would like to know if you have yourself any favorite movie critics.
Well, see, and now I'm gonna forget my friends' names, people I work with. Obviously everybody reads Roger Ebert, so do I. A good movie. I don't so much have favorite critics as favorite sites or people who write about movies because I don't take advice as to what I'm supposed to see. But Jeff Wells at Hollywood Elsewhere is kind of a crank, but he really knows his stuff. I'm supposed to replace all swears with bus, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, I'll remember. I've been paying attention.
Yep.
Hitfix.com is a magazine where Drew McQueenie, used to be known as Moriarty on Ain't It Cool, writes for. He's the one who did the Film Nerd 2.0 Star Wars articles that you may have seen getting passed around. Fantastic stuff. Devin Faraci's site, badassdigest.com, I read every day. Ain't It Cool is still always worth visiting. Joe Blow is a good site. They're kind of like a cross between a movie site and Maxim. They've got good people. That's usually my rotation for the day.
Okay. Cool. Getting back to the Twilight topic, do you think any of the stars of Twilight have potential once this finally ends?
You're never going to hear from Robert Pattinson again. And I think he'll be happy about that. The unique thing about Twilight is that I've never seen a major franchise where so many of the people involved actively and openly hate being involved in it. Because they signed up before they knew what this was going to be. I don't think you're ever going to hear from him again in anything meaningful. Kristen Stewart has a bunch of movies coming out. I don't know if that's going to work. A lot of the older actors were already stars, like Michael Sheen, who plays the lead bad vampire guy. He's in the Underworld movies, and he plays Tony Blair a lot. He's a fantastic actor. The kid who plays the werewolf, Taylor Lautner, he's probably got a career ahead of himself just because he can do action stuff.
Yeah.
So he can probably do that. And I get the sense that he's the guy from Twilight that the male audience kind of likes because he's the guy who punches Robert Pattinson all the time. I think he's sort of the insert character. If the girl's father, who's the best character in the entire series, is the stand dragged to it, I feel like he's the stand-in for a lot of guys who get dragged to it.
All right. I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask it anyways. Is there any way they could make the last Twilight movie redeeming enough to justify the whole series?
Oh, hell yeah. They used to have to change the ending.
Okay.
Am I allowed to spoil this? Because I've read this, so I know where this is going.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so in the next movie mainly involves them training, new Super Saiyan vampire Bella to good at being a vampire, and the bad vampires all show up with all their bad vampire friends for a war, and the good vampires all get the good vampires and werewolves and stuff together for a big fight, and it looks like they're oh man, this has been building up to some stuff. There's going to be a big brawl and stuff here, and instead it turns out Bella's superpowers just throw a force field around everything so no one can get hurt, and then some guy we've never met anywhere else in the series shows up and tells everyone that everything they've been worried about is wrong because of some stuff we've never known about until exactly that moment, and then it's over. So if they do something different than that, then maybe that'll work.
All right.
But yeah, that's what you have to look forward to. So I think, maybe kill a bunch of people, work the R rating, have some vampires acting like vampires. Someone looks perplexed.
Yep, I sure did.
All right. Are you, now that you're doing movie reviews for your living, essentially, are you able to get enjoyment out of watching films anymore? Or does your mind basically go straight to the movie reviewer?
well, I was doing that anyway, so like it's always been a watching stuff with a critical eye thing. Some days I do like go to see some stuff that I really want to see, and I have to kind of put myself back in the mindset of I'm here for fun. This is not necessarily work today, but it comes out of it. Anyone who does something that they love for a living has had that experience where it's like I might want to do something else right now, but overall I've been able to stick with it.
Perfect. Are there any current trends in gaming and or Hollywood that are disturbing you right now, and what are they?
Oh man, how long am I going to be on this call? 'Cause this could be a long.
As long as you want, sir. Well, not as long as you want, but until noon. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I've got nothing but time. Okay, yeah. Well, in movies, I am not a person who is opposed to remakes or adaptations of things. Like the fact that someone is making a Battleship movie doesn't really bother me, because I think you could probably make something out of that. It's so much as it's probably going to be bad. But the fact that you cannot get an original screenplay made is a real problem right now, because not for nothing, this has been going on for like 5 years now. Another 5 years of every movie being an adaptation, a remake, or a sequel. If nothing else, a decade later, what are we going to remake from now? It needs to get something, and I'm sure I'm leaving something. Obviously, Inception, huge hit, original screenplay, but it's sort of problematic. Video games is Modern Warfare 3 officially now like the best-selling thing in the history of anything?
Pretty much the best-selling media product or something.
Yeah, that's pretty disturbing.
It's like 400 million, I think, on the opening day.
Yeah, that's pretty damn disturbing to me. So yeah, so that could be. I mean, I don't know how many people watching or know of the game Overthinker, but at least sort of a broken record about the multiplayer military first-person shooter gunwang thing. I can't wait for that to hit an iceberg, and I'm starting to get the sixth sense that it's not going to, and like this is going to be what Sonic-style platformers were for like 15 years in the late 80s and 90s, and that I see. I'm not enthusiastic about the future of video games right now. I'll put it that way.
All right.
Don't mean to bring everybody down, but yeah.
Well, speaking of video games, saying Desert Bus is quite likely the worst game in the world.
Okay.
But what's the worst game that you've played?
Oh man, I'm blanking now. Recently or all time?
Let's go with recent.
Let's go recent, yeah.
Recently worse. Well, right now, even though I love the game, I am pissed at Arkham City because that mysterious vanishing save file problem?
Oh dear.
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, I saw your tweets about that.
Yeah, I got that, and it happened a day before I had to go buy Skyward Sword. So right now I'm just kind of taking it as a message.
Yeah, there's like the fun kind of glitches where graphics go weird and stuff, and then there's the not fun glitches.
Yeah. But it saved all my achievements, which is like a perfect metaphor for everything wrong with like the achievement gaming culture. Is my save file is gone. I gotta start the whole story over, but it remembers that I beat up like 5 guys in an alley somewhere and got this stupid little meaningless trophy. So so spectacular.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that thing that was like the Norse god? But they were aliens. Was that too human?
Probably.
I thought that was Indiana Jones.
No.
Wasn't that Thor?
Yeah, I think Too Human was was like Norse guys in the future.
Norse gods, except.
Yeah, that was I rented that, played it for about an hour, and said, yeah, this is awful. So so that was pretty bad. Recently, what I've been playing has been good though. So I've working towards that. Haven't picked up Modern Warfare 3 yet because the place that I used to rent games that I have no intention of buying from has closed.
Mm.
So see what happens there.
So
I have to get GameFly now.
What about all time?
All time. God, the Shadow the Hedgehog has to be right up there.
Nice. Nice.
I mean, I played like a lot of broken games on like the Atari and the computer and such, but that almost feels unfair. I haven't played, but I gave a look to that Tanuki game that PETA made, which looks bad for a PETA Flash game.
Oh
so
God!
you know,
Oh God!
yeah, stay tuned to various MovieBob media for how I feel about that.
Yeah, well, actually, speaking of that, this a rather accusatory thing being on your first episode of The Big Picture, you said that you'd talk about all sorts of things, including monkeys. Why has there not been an episode on monkeys yet? This makes the person very sad.
Pretty. This is my kind of person. I at the last minute swapped out for relevancy's sake on Schlocktober. The last movie was going to be King Kong Live.
Oh, so we
and it wound up being the
missed
Toxic Avenger. So there will be a monkey episode. I'm sure there's been mentions of monkeys there at some point, but there will be monkey-related episodes in the future. I promise. I promise. That is an oversight.
Right. Do you have any advice for an aspiring filmmaker? What do you think? What areas do you think a film student should focus on to become a better writer and/or director?
Gosh, that's a. I don't have any jokes to tell, so I don't know. I don't know where to go. Okay, serious face. If you're in film school, my best advice, if you're in film school, you're probably already interested enough in movies to have areas that you want to focus on. My best advice would be the areas that are that you regard as the most boring parts of filmmaking that you don't want to be involved in. Learn them, because there's an awful lot of people that get into this and they say, well, I'm in this, I'm a pretty good writer, I know my way around blocking a scene, but I don't know anything about sound. Learn about sound. If you haven't taken an acting class, take a couple, so
that sort of
that what works and what doesn't for actors. Figure out what it is you want to do specifically early on. Again, a lot of people get in and they say, well, I like to make homemade special effects and put them in movies. Maybe I should be a movie director. Well, maybe you should be a special effects technician. Things of that nature would be my advice. As someone who did not get this kind of good advice in his state college film track class and has kind of had to learn it, teach this to himself later.
There's lots of hate for the 3D movies thing. People are saying, when are we going to get rid of 3D movies, and is there anything I can do to speed up that process?
Go to see the 2D version, but I don't hate 3D movies, and I don't know about going away. I think that right now the fact that it's this giant fad is probably gone in a few years, because the writing's on the wall that that audiences are looking up when it's been shot in 3D versus actually just converted into 3D, and are making their decisions based on that. But I don't think it's ever going to go away, because it never really did go away. Now it's this big thing, but there have always been 1 or 2 3D movies coming out, and I think that you're only going to see more only in the theater, quote-unquote gimmicks like this, as movie theaters try to stay afloat in this age of everything being on demand and pirates. So you're going to see a lot more of them. I think you're also going to see other things being done with 3D technology than the 3D itself. Because what the 3D technology that they have now basically allows you to do is hide entire sections of a screen image to people not wearing those glasses. So there's probably all sorts of stuff you can do with that. That would be pretty interesting. I could easily foresee in another 5 to 10 years being able to watch the R or PG-13 version of a movie, depending on whether or not you were wearing the glasses. I think someone's going to give that a shot.
Oh, that would be super cool.
Yeah, it obviously wouldn't work for everything, but if they're going to do this business where it's here's the blood-free version and here's the blood version, that's actually conceivable with this technology right now. And I'm not spoiling anything that anyone's trying. I don't know that anyone's doing that, but it's possible.
Oh man,
Sony is doing that 2-player video game TV thing with the 3D glasses.
That really puts those, you know, you always see those marketing images for 3D glasses of like the family gathered around the TV all wearing 3D glasses. It puts that into different context, and maybe the mom and dad are actually seeing a different film than the kids are.
So we could go with our girlfriends. The wife could see the rom-com, and we could watch Batman.
Wow.
Could be.
That could be interesting.
You probably need some headphones for that too.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
And new sets of 3D glasses.
Theoretically, it's there. I could see. Actually, here's a for example. Who saw Machete?
I sorely did not. I really wanted to, but never got around to it.
It's on
Okay,
Netflix.
all right. Who saw the preview for the movie Machete?
Basically the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so we all saw this really gratuitous shot of Jessica Alba bent over a sink, right? Wearing like a underwear, basically.
I gotta watch this trailer.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so all right, so we've seen this. Okay, so in the movie, it appears that she's nude, and a whole lot of people who saw this movie said, "Wow, I've seen Jessica Alba nude." No, you didn't. You saw the trailer, you saw the actual shot, and they actually CGI'd the nudity onto her in the movie because I guess she doesn't do nudity for that. And so you could conceivably do that with the 3D glasses, like, you know, panties on, panties off, panties on, panties off. That is again, no one's done it, but it's doable.
You're really
way this
opening my
technology
eyes to a new world of technology we could have here.
I do what I can.
So, what video game would you like to be turned into a movie, and who would direct it, and who would you give a leading role to? Rather complex question. Are there any games that you really feel are crying out for a movie?
Is this another one of those things where I just have to exempt Mario from it? I mean, that would be the answer, but I want to think of one that's not so obvious.
Well, okay, but if you did Mario, I assume you wouldn't have Bob Hoskins as the lead.
If he would do it again, I would, because he was actually perfect casting.
Oh, I
mean,
see.
like I know he hates the movie, and I hate the movie, and that they didn't have a script, and he tried to take his name off it. The director did take his name off it, but he was actually really good casting for that. Now I don't know who you'd get.
Ron Jeremy.
Probably an unknown Italian man with mustache.
Nice.
I hear Silvio Berlusconi's available.
That would be cool. I'm sure that there are a million and one guys in like character acting who look enough like that could do it, and just put them up on wires for the jumps, and there you go. God, I've always said that if someone ever said, Bob, you can direct whatever you want, I'd do like Super Mario Brothers movie. I'd love to see them like do Kirby as an animated movie. That was better than the ones that they did. I think that would be really cool.
I was going to say, it seems like they already have done one.
Yeah. They did a couple as anime that went like direct to DVD. They were like pilots for the show.
Right.
They were okay. I think you could maybe go a little bigger. I'm amazed we don't have Castlevania yet. I'm glad, because the one they were going to make was going to suck. I'm amazed they haven't made Castlevania.
I feel like it could just be Van Helsing. They would just do that.
Van Helsing pretty much is the Castlevania movie, just without Simon Belmont.
Yeah.
And at this point, I think the CGI in the most recent Castlevania game was better than the CGI in Van Helsing. Okay. So almost anything would be. I actually liked that movie, but the CGI was awful.
Have you considered creating a Game Overthinker spin-off starring Commissioner Bunnyface?
I've considered many Game Overthinker spin-offs. Not necessarily starring Commissioner Bunnyface yet, because I don't know that you could get a whole show out of that 30 seconds of looped footage we got of my brother's rabbit standing still. But anything's possible. If I could get Dylan, that's the rabbit, to move around under direction, which I don't think is doable. But you never know. But it's certainly possible. I love Commissioner Bunnyface, and I'm glad that the fans are warming up to him as a character.
What is the most overrated movie of all time? Ooh.
Of all time?
Of all time.
All time. Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind? Mm-hmm. Why?
Yeah, Now, okay, go quick show of hands. Who's actually watched this all the way through? I know we all know Gone with the Wind, Who's watched, because it's like the class, who's watched it all the way through?
That's 2 out of 9.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now I know some people love it, so I don't want to give everyone a real hard time, but it's not really that good.
No,
the reason it's a classic is really because this book was like Twilight when this movie came out, that everyone had read it and everyone loved it and everyone needed to see this movie, and it's pretty damn good. There's some good parts to it, but it's a long slog.
Oh. Hang on, Bob.
In between the scenes that because they're the good ones.
So are you saying now that 80 years from now we have to look forward to the Twilight films being modern classics?
No. Okay, maybe Twilight was a bad example. It was more like the Da Vinci Code in its time, where everyone had read this book. So a little more than that. Twilight, I think Twilight's already over myself. Like, I know the movie did really well. I don't really see like the huge mass culture thing for it that I did even 2 years ago. I think its fan base is graduating from high school.
To come to the defense of Gone with the Wind here for a second, though, it did some really interesting things filmmaking-wise for its time.
Oh, absolutely.
So, that's the only reason it is still relevant in filmmaking.
I would never say that Gone with the Wind isn't relevant. It's hugely relevant. The burning of Atlanta is an incredibly important scene in cinema history. The big pan back from the all the bodies to the big Confederate flag. Hattie McDaniel being the first person of color to get an Academy Award. All of these are important things. I don't know that when they do the big roll of all the classic movies that it really quality-wise belongs there next to Wizard of Oz, Citizen Kane, Singing in the Rain, which is where it usually goes. But that's just me. Like from the same I think from the same relative year, I would say that like the Errol Flynn Robin Hood is probably like a better movie of that era in that same kind of heightened romantic style. But again, that's just me. That's just me.
Well, the poster actually doesn't help when it says the most magnificent motion picture of all time.
And it's quite something to build up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at the time, this was like the book everyone had read. Clark Gable was the biggest star on the planet. So I mean, this was huge.
And if I remember, it was actually one of the first movies to use trailers.
Oh yeah, it was unprecedented. Just what the Gone with the Wind movie was the capper to the gigantic, worldwide Gone with the Wind media blitz. And it was that nothing compares to how big this franchise was at the time.
And you also have the fact that you've got Tom Hanks in the Da Vinci Code movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting comparison as well. One of the biggest male stars of our time.
I think the Da Vinci Code would have been even huger a few years ago when Tom Hanks was, Tom Hanks. I mean, like Tom Hanks, he's almost like an elder statesman of movies now. Like I love Tom Hanks, and I love that he sort of transitioned from being like Mr. Actor guy to being like America's foremost history teacher. He is the man. I really like Tom Hanks. I didn't see Larry Crown, and that's because I like Tom Hanks, and I want to continue liking Tom Hanks. And I just didn't want to see him phone it in a Julia Roberts movie about a guy in a motor scooter.
Well, I'm really looking forward to Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that looks like a tough watch.
Yeah.
That looks like it's going to be rough going, but I'll even forgive them for you two in the, which is usually like one of the
death knells.
A movie is either going to be really, really good or really, really bad if there's you two in the trailer.
True facts.
I do what I can.
Speaking of facts, actually, that's a good. So we
good segue.
Part of what we're doing here on Desert Bus is we take in challenges from people and do stupid things because they asked us to.
Got it.
One of the ongoing challenges we have is somebody offered to donate money based on how many facts we can get from different people, and so we're asking people, everybody who phones in, to give us one fact that we can add to our list. in the hopes of just some sort of random fact. We've had things about bees and about all sorts of crazy things. Yeah, whatever, anything. So
Does somebody want to set a stopwatch?
We have a timer already. We'll just go now.
Kick ass. The highest grossing live action family film ever made, adjusted for inflation, is the original Muppet movie.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Uh,
We-
yeah, that is true. According to TVTropes.org, that is true.
the highest authority.
We're gonna spend all day there now.
Yes.
You'll never believe what review I was writing recently that I would know that.
Oh, ho, ho.
Can you give us a preview of that? Because I'm actually really curious if that's any good.
It's good. Go see it.
Really?
All right.
All right.
Yeah, the Muppets is great. Go see it.
Huh.
Now you don't have to watch the review.
When it comes out, when you dodge Thanksgiving after dinner conversation early to go do stuff you need to do, go see the Muppet movie.
I'm going to be here.
People in the forums are asking if you know any facts about monkeys.
Scientific facts about monkeys.
Not necessarily scientific. They could be very unscientific.
Chimpanzees and humans share 98% of the same DNA.
All right.
See, the thing is that he said, I should get on cam here for this. He said that okay, it's not really, because people are mad and I was like, oh, it's not an animal fact because so far we had so many animal facts, but really, animal is a Muppet.
Damn. Animal is a Muppet.
1 degree of separation. There we go.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's beautiful.
All right. I think we don't want to take up too much of your time here with random questions being asked by random people. So thank you very much. I think there's is it one more here that guy wants to know if you're going to do any more history episodes of he really liked the Hollywood 101 series of episodes. I was wondering if you were planning on doing any more history ones.
It all depends on what I have the time for, or what the episode is feeling like at that time. I plan a lot of these out in advance, but often end up like deleting them because I'm no longer interested or it's no longer like super relevant. I suppose a history one could come back in if something kind of strikes my fancy that's worth doing about. Always welcome suggestions and such. Oh God, did I say that? My box is going to get so full.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah. So there's
Out of
that.
the live stream. Yeah.
It can always get done. I could do some history. The History of Hollywood one was really only going to be 1 episode, and it just couldn't be, and turned into 4. So you never know. I might do like people said, oh, you should do history of video games or history of comics. I am so not qualified to tell the whole history of either of those things. But you never know. You really you never know. People keep saying that I should. At some point, I really do have to do the pony episode. At some point, I just kind of have to.
Ooh,
Did I say something I wasn't supposed to?
Are you in the pony camp, or are you in the
glue camp?
People who don't quite understand the pony camp.
I've seen it. I enjoy it. I don't watch religiously, but I've watched it. I thought it was pretty good. It could definitely be an episode.
All right. So so then of course the question is, who is your favorite pony?
Because the chat is dying to know.
Yeah, the chat. I don't know if you're reading the chat right now, but it is quite active about the pony love.
There is a right answer to this question.
Yes.
They're also concerned about your Bostonian accents. If you want to put the two of those together, feel free, I guess.
Yes. Boston. Well, I'm holding back the accent. People said it was a little too thick sometimes in some of the episodes, so I'm kind of pulling it back right now. Now I'm trying to remember what these things' names are now.
Just say the color, and we'll fill in what we want.
Which one's the funny one?
That would be
Pinkie Pie.
Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash is the correct answer to any question.
It doesn't fly. I do know that it doesn't fly.
Was it pink?
Pinkie Pie?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's the answer.
All right.
Friends off, Bob. Friends off.
Thank you very much, Bob, for calling in.
Hey, no problem, no problem. Oh, is that all? Oh, okay.
Well, we can talk more if you want, but
No, I'm as long as you need to until I get annoyed.
All right.
all right. Go with the offensive question.
It's a chat contest now. How quickly can we annoy Bob?
Hey, MovieBob, I got a question. How much of that?
Don't filter the bad questions. I love the bad questions.
Oh, really? Oh, I can go back up to the top then.
Wait, we have a question in room.
Yeah. MovieBob, why is Rhode Island way better than Massachusetts?
Why is what?
Why is Rhode Island way better than Massachusetts?
I don't know that they are, but wait, isn't H.P. Lovecraft is buried in Rhode Island?
Yes, he is. Which means that's what Cthulhu's buried.
We have Salem.
Salem. Oh,
okay, yeah, there you go. Wait, oh shit, was that the answer? Oh, Bus, was that the answer?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, sorry.
Oh God.
We have to ask the question.
Oh, okay.
What's your opinion on erotic Star Trek fan fiction? Are you pro or con? It's a question we've been asking a number of our guests, so it's important.
No, I've heard it asked. I'm trying to remember what my carefully researched answer was. I just remembered Yeoman Rand, so.
Hello.
For it. There you go. I don't know. Do people know that erotic Star Trek fan fiction was like the first adult fan fiction?
That's where the slash comes from.
Yes, yeah, that's where that comes from.
Kirk / Spock, and then it goes from there.
Yeah. So essentially, Star Trek fandom was invented by horny female sci-fi writers.
Yep.
There you go.
Easy times.
Okay, we've got another question from the chat. Dear MovieBob, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Well, woodchuck's usually about 20-25 pounds full grown. Average log is about 5 pounds. So actually, they have those little tiny arms. I don't know that they can chuck anything. If they could, probably not much.
All right.
I have a real question here.
Oh, real question.
Real question, and this is something I kind of wondered about myself. Have you ever fallen asleep watching 2001?
I don't think falling asleep. No, I think as a kid I did sort of, drift off a little bit during the parts that you're not really supposed to pay attention to.
Okay. Good. Something I've always had a problem with.
Paul,
so.
did you do that?
Really?
Yes. Huh. Not the last time. That was okay.
Well, I love the idea that monolith is the fourth wall.
Mind blown.
There is a chat question that I'm actually curious about. What did you think of the Red Hood and the Outlaws DC reboot?
Terrible. Terrible. I will confess that I read through it in a store, which I don't usually do, but everybody said this is horrible. This is horrible. I didn't want to buy it, so I read that. I said, wow, this is really bad. And the whole thing with Starfire, good lord, I don't know how that got out the gate. I don't. Who else has read this? I don't want to be
I've read it.
Talking out of school. You've read it, seen it.
Yeah.
We know what people are upset about here. Yeah. I understand and support writers of such things kind of writing their naughty little boy fantasies into fiction, so long as it's good. But there's a point where you have to cut off and go, dude, what is wrong with you? It's it's a family broadcast, but that's just not cool. And I don't know how DC let that get out the door. I really don't. Where's the oversight?
There's a question in the chat there. Do you ever look back on a review you've done and change your mind and be like, man, this movie was way better / way worse than I actually gave it credit for being when I reviewed it?
I don't know that I've changed my mind. I think I've changed of reviews that I've done for the shows, no, but that's only within the last 2 years. I've gone back and forth so many times on what I would have said about the Phantom Menace when it came out if I had been a critic. Because I've gone back from I hate this, it's not so bad. I hate this, we need to get over it. But I end up changing, you know, like the reasons that I don't like something more than whether or not I like something, because bad just kind of is bad.
I have another question. What are some movies that have come out this year that nobody has seen that people should see?
Ooh.
Nobody saw Anonymous. I thought Anonymous was really good and worth seeing. I haven't seen it myself, but when a horror movie called The Woman comes out, not The Woman in Black, the Daniel Radcliffe one, I've heard that's good too, but this is a different thing. Everyone tells me that that's a movie that needs to get seen more. Frozen was terrific. Nobody went and should. From a couple of years back, actually, I don't know, has Smoke and Aces turned into a cult classic yet?
It's been a sequel.
It is very good.
Yeah, because I feel like that's something that nobody really went to, that people should really go to see because it was kind of awesome. Recently the stuff that people should be staying away from, they've been staying away from, so more power to them.
Except for Breaking Dawn.
Except for Breaking Dawn.
Except Breaking Dawn, but you know, at this point, even if I wasn't a critic, I'd be going to see it just because it's, you know, the event. You want to know what's going on.
Yes. Okay, we've got another question for you. This is I just find it sort of an interesting question. Have you ever been to a movie that was so bad that you walked out of it mid-film?
No, but I've wanted to. I've never walked out of a movie. I've never walked out. I've wanted to. But I've never actually got up and left the movie because, you know, it's not fair. It might get better, or it might get much, much worse.
Yeah. Which is also kind of better.
Which one did you walk out on? Or did you want to?
Yeah, which movie did you most want to walk out of?
Oh, Lord. The Blind Side, if I could have left halfway through, like if I could force myself to leave a movie, I would have left that movie. The other Sandra Bullock movie that year, All About Steve, really wanted to leave that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's think of one that's not Sandra Bullock because
that's just like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, I don't want to be just completely bagging on Sandra Bullock.
Speed 2.
Okay, what was that? Valentine's Day? Was that the movie that was like a bunch of different stories on Valentine's Day?
Love Actually?
No, there's a movie just Valentine's Day. It had like Taylor Lautner in it.
Love Actually wasn't bad. There was one called Valentine's Day that was. I would have left that if I could bring myself to.
Okay, on the topic of Valentine's Day, did you get the trailer when you screened Breaking Dawn for New Year's Eve, which is like fundamentally a like ensemble cast remake of the same film?
I feel like someone needs to just go to Robert De Niro and ask him to stop. Just let, and I'd be afraid because he might.
Limitless was good.
New Year's Eve looks god awful, and it's like it's kind of amazing to me that it's taken Hollywood this long to figure out that one of the reasons Independence Day made so much money was that it was a movie called Independence Day that they released on Independence Day, so everyone would know it was coming out and to start doing these things.
Coming to a theater near you in 2012.
Garbage Day!
It amazes me.
St. Patrick's Day.
What are we going to go see on New Year's Eve? New Year's Eve!
But Independence Day had spaceships and aliens and stuff in it, at least, you know.
So does New Year's Eve.
Can I ask something probably a little bit off topic? MovieBob, I asked for opinion about a TV show. What are your thoughts on Community?
Hello? I can't hear.
Oh.
You can't hear.
What are your thoughts on Community?
I like Community, and I hope it's not really canceled.
So do we all.
Hello?
We're still good. We still got you.
We still have you.
Okay. I like Community, and I hope it's not really canceled. And if it is canceled, I hope Comedy Central does the right thing and picks it up.
Actually, I could say it's not canceled right now. NBC just pushed it back. I got a press email yesterday saying that NBC is just pushing it to lead into the summer programming block.
Okay. Well, let's hope so.
Speaking of Community, have we all seen the trailer for Knights of Badassdom?
No.
Yes. No.
Yes. Yes. With Peter Dinklage?
Oh right, yeah.
Nice.
Okay, look this up. When we're done here, look this up. It's a movie called Knights of Badassdom. As Peter Dinklage, Danny Hootie, and the guy who plays Abed, and a few other guys as LARPers who accidentally unleash a real medieval demon in the middle of like a giant LARPing convention outdoors. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Come on, chat. Don't let us down.
Wow.
Okay. Here's another one. Who wrote Pluto?
Who wrote what?
Are you aware of a manga series called Pluto?
I am not.
Okay.
I will confess that I'm
well,
not.
what it is they took a story from Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy and really made it grown up, examining it from the other sides, and very, very dark. I was just wondering if there's any childhood stories or childhood comics or comics for children that you'd like to see made a little bit more grown up.
Please let him say Archie.
I actually would read the hell out of a grown-up Archie, quote unquote. But I'll confess I am burned out on the whole like gritty adult reboot of kids stuff thing. Like I love Watchmen. Everyone loves Watchmen, but like at this point, whenever someone says that they've got like, oh, it's this really dark, edgy, more mature version of something that was never meant to include those words, is one of the points when I just shut my interest off. I suppose I could see some of them, like if someone said, oh, it's like He-Man, but it's like ultra violent or something like that. But like at this point, that is like a subgenre that it just needs to go away, or at least get away from me, because I'm so tired of it.
Let's see what we've got here.
Dolph Lundgren does deserve another shot at a He-Man.
Oh, yes.
Though, yes.
All right.
Skeletor this time.
You know that dude is a physicist?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren has like a PhD in like mechanical engineering and physics.
Yeah, he was on an Albright
from like the University of Sweden. Yeah, he was at MIT, and then they said he's like, hey, you know what's big right now? Giant, Teutonic men in action movies. Would you like to do that? So we switched.
I heard Lisa Kudrow has a master's degree in chemistry.
Awesome, awesome.
Nice.
Dear Dr. MovieBob, and I lost the question. Where did it go?
I'm really more of a professor.
All right, dear Professor Dr. MovieBob. Oh God, the chat is going too fast and I can't read it. What are your thoughts on the Doctor Who movie that's apparently in production?
Oh, I was hoping someone would ask. I don't think it's a bad idea. I honestly don't think doing an out-of-continuity Doctor Who movie is a bad idea.
Sure.
Because I don't know how you do an in-continuity one that anyone but fans would, be interested in seeing. I'm all about continuity. I'm fond of Doctor Who, but I feel like, that there is, room for more than one running continuity of, different franchises and things, especially now that everything is so easily looked up and clarified in the popular culture. I don't see any problem with it whatsoever. I'll see a problem with it when they start saying that it's going to be the gritty reboot of Doctor Who.
We did a treat.
And then they start saying, all of these things are just too silly. We need to make this less silly. And, when that happens, yeah, that'll suck. But right now, in theory, I don't think it's a bad idea.
Okay. You appear to have angered the chat. So before they run you off the internet, perhaps we should bring this call to a close.
Cool.
Let's pull out one more question, and we'll bring it into it there.
Rockin'.
If the chat will stop gathering their torches and pitchforks for a few moments.
I knew that was going to happen, and I did it anyway.
Well, Matt.
This is the story of my life.
Well, Matt figures out a question then. What is how big a fan are you of Doctor Who?
I won't say that I'm like the hugest fan ever, just because I have only one life to live, and there's a lot of backlog. I enjoy what I've seen, and I know a good deal about more from the older than the newer, just because my God, the time. But you know, I won't say that I'm like a super fan, but so maybe that disqualifies the opinion. Okay, fine. But I know of it, and I still think it can work.
All right, so dear Dr. Professor MovieBob Esquire, if there was one bad movie that you wanted to give a second chance to be good, which would it be?
You know, at this point, I'll be generous and I'll give a second chance to the Expendables when Expendables 2 comes out, and see if that works. I mean, this time they have Van Damme.
Wow.
Have you seen the poster? He's credited as also Van Damme. It says like Jet Li, somebody, and also Van Damme.
That's right up
That's
there.
his actual credit.
That's right up there with Black Downey Jr.
Professor and Mary Ann.
That was funny.
Oh,
Chuck Norris
man.
looks so small. He looks so tiny. You forget what a slight man. On the poster for Expendables 2, Chuck Norris looks like teeny. And old.
Well, they all
That
sort
whole-
of do.
That whole movie is like a giant ad for Just for Men.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. You guys are doing good stuff here. Thank you to everyone who donated, and keep doing so.
Great. Okay. Well,
All right.
have a good afternoon. I guess it is
You guys too.
certainly afternoon for you at this point.
Say
and-
goodbye to my giant head.
All right. Goodbye, giant head.
Bye.
Professor Dr. MovieBob Esquire. Wow.